Hello everyone, we team Smart Helmet with product name Innovative Headgear and team ID 1526363 have participated in AICT, DST and Texas Instruments India Innovation Challenge 2019 anchored by IIM Bangalore. We have cleared the quarter-final phase and are here to present our second interim technical video. To start with our technical video, I would like to share that our group members Ninad Joshi, Neil Joshi, Sumit Joshi, Mallar Jojare with our group mentor Professor Anjali Askedkar ma'am recently published as well as presented our paper with paper name Design and Finite Element Analysis of IoT based Smart Helmet at IMtronics International IoT Electronics and Mechatronics Conference, which was organized by IEEE Vancouver Canada section. The paper link is given in the description. So now we will be looking towards the points which we are going to discuss during this entire technical video. So first comes the problem identification, that is the need behind the project. Why our team is focusing on the idea Smart Helmet. Then comes the market survey, which we did, which will be covered in the business, that is the interim second business video. Then comes the components and materials which we are going to use to make our prototype. So electronic components like we can say modules, GPS module, GSM module, the vibration sensor SW420 which we are going to use. Then comes some mechanical part, that is finite element analysis, FEA. Then some CAD designs which are mechanical team designed. So all these points will be covered in this technical video. To starting with our introduction, the main objective, that is the prime objective of our project Smart Helmet, is the safety and security of our common people. Nowadays there are various road accidents and people die due to the same. But in some areas the help is given, but it is given after a very long time, which is of no use. So the team was finding a solution which can overcome the above mentioned problem. So the team is going to design a smart helmet which will be taking care of the above mentioned problem. Now we did a market survey from which we understood that smart helmets are present in the market, but the features which we are going to provide is not present, as well as they are very costly. So we are focusing and designing a smart helmet which is cost effective as well and will overcome all the above mentioned problems. Moving towards the components part, in electronics we are going to use sensors like SW420, then modules like GPS module, GSM module and a controller board. All these modules as well as sensors are placed in a specific manner which has been decided with the help of a industry mentor as well as a faculty mentor. So now in the next slide we will be discussing with the help of the diagram. So I'll be explaining the module and sensor and module placement diagram, which you can see on the left hand side. So the red dots represent the vibration sensor SW420, which will be placed. It will be used for the detection of the collisions if there is an accident or not. Then comes the green circle, which stands for GPS module, which will be used for navigation purpose. Then comes the yellow circle, which stands for GSM module. It will come into the action only if we can say there is a requirement to transfer a message. Then comes the blue circle, which is an innovative part which our team has designed. We are going to give a replaceable power bank. And now lastly the TI boost axle part. So we are going to give an entertainment unit part which will be discussed in the further slides. So now we'll consider that the buckle is engaged and the system has started working. So on the right you can see the flow chart, that is the actual working of our project. It will be consisting of two units, one is the safety unit and another one is the entertainment unit. So the safety unit will be the fixed portion and we are going to give a choice whether to have the entertainment unit in the user's helmet or not. So now we'll consider the safety unit first. So in the safety unit the vibration sensors will be placed as we discussed in the sensor and module placement diagram. So the vibration sensors will be continuously checking for an input, and if there is no input it will return to the first block. But if the user is facing some or the other problem, that is the vibrations are greater than the predefined limit, the controller board will get actuated. So as soon as the controller board gets actuated, it will transfer some or the other signal to the GSM module, and then the GSM comes into the action. So in collaboration with GPS, it will transfer the message to the port which our team is going to design. So that port will be completely looking towards this kind of help only. So GPS always transmits the message in the NMEA string format, which stands for National Marine Electronics Association format. So the team is working on a code in such a way that that string will be given as an input, and whenever the code is run, the coordinates in terms of latitude and longitude will be identified, and accordingly immediate help will be given. So this is the basic idea of our safety unit. So, and on the right you can see the entertainment unit part, in which we are going to give entertainment features like play songs, or we can say receive calls, etc. In the next slide. So now, in this period of lockdown, we were not able to get the hardware. So the team decided not to waste time and to work over the virtual platform. So we have designed the basic system on the Proteus platform and have the simulations done in the same way, in which the actual hardware will be implemented. So on the left at the bottom you can see the message, how actually this is an example of message that will be transmitted to the port. So you can have a look.
Now let's take a look at the mechanical components of our helmet. The outer shell is made up of polycarbonate. The polycarbonate are strong, stiff, hard and tough transparent engineering thermoplastics that can maintain rigidity up to 140 degrees centigrade and toughness down to -20 degrees Celsius, or in special grades even low. The material is amorphous and thereby it displays excellent chemical properties and physical properties, and also displays high dimensional stability. It is thermally resistant up to 135 degrees Celsius, and also it is rated as slow burning. Special flame retardant grades also exist which pass severe flammability tests. EPS liner, expanded polystyrene. It is a white foam plastic material which is produced from solid bits of polystyrene. It is energy efficient and it is energy saving. It is thermally resistant and insulated. It is chemically inert. It has bacterial resistance. It is cost effective, and also it has excellent impact stability and dimensional stability. Third is comfort liner. For comfort liner, we have used polyurethane foam. It has resistance to water, oil and grease. It has excellent electrical properties. It has wide resiliency range. It has strong bonding properties. It also has performance in harsh environments. It is mold and mildew fungus resistance. Color ranges, there are various color ranges available for this particular comfort liner, and also its manufacturing process is economical. And for buckle strap we have used nylon. It has excellent fatigue resistance. It is good for chemical resistance to oil and greases. It has abrasion resistance. It has tough and impact resistance. Heat stabilization versions are also available. For visor we have used acrylic. Acrylic is widely used because it makes an excellent alternative to glass, being weatherproof, lighter, stronger and safer, whilst providing sized glasses like assets such as clarity, brilliance, translucency, etc. And again it is a more cost effective material. Rubber padding. For rubber padding we have used vulcanized rubber. Rubber is used for vibration and shock insulation. Vulcanization gives rubber its characteristic elastic quality. This process is carried out by mixing the latex with sulfur and other vulcanizing agents such as selenium and tellurium.
We have the FEA simulations. Bed models were imported into the ANSYS environment for the FEA. A tetrahedral mesh was used for the analysis. So in the first iteration, according to the BIS standard for helmet testing, a 19.5 kN load was applied to the top portion of the helmet by fixing the bottom padding. In the second iteration, the same load was applied to the side portion of the helmet by fixing the bottom padding. In both the cases, the maximum deformation value, which is 16.223 mm and 9.032 mm, were within the acceptable BIS limit of helmet testing, which is 6 to 24 mm. So this is the stress and strain analysis for the second iteration. The maximum stress value is 157.28 MPa, whereas maximum strain percentage is 4%, which is quite safe and acceptable.
The dynamic analysis was also carried out. The helmet was made to hit a concrete block at a speed of 10 meters per second, and the maximum stress value was recorded. This value, that is 2.95 GPa, is quite acceptable and is in the limit given in one of the research papers on this topic.
As we are planning to place various sports in the city, our first step was to get some more information on certain areas of the city, so as to prioritize where we will be placing our first sport. So we tried adopting the new tactics of AIML. So we circulated a survey form. Until now we have received up to 250 to 300 data samples. In the survey form we asked questions like the age, gender of the people, whether they use the helmet, the area which they live in, and if they have been a part of or if they witnessed accident while traveling.
To start with machine learning, the first step of machine learning is the data gathering process, that is the data pool generation. So our team has actually started the work of data gathering as we are circulating a survey form through which we are knowing the actual parameters to generate a data set. Then comes the data cleaning process, which removes the null spaces, or we can say unnecessary values. On the screen you can see two screenshots of the data set. The left is the actual data and on the right the data has been mapped. Both the figures are of the same data. The only difference is that on the right the data has been mapped. So now on the next slide, as you can see, the screenshot is of feature importance. So we are planning to use random forest classifier as our first machine learning model. So in which the unique part is that it gives the model let us know that what actual parameters are important. The actual parameters we got from model, that is the main important parameters are the time, then comes the area, then comes the traffic condition in that particular area, and lastly whether the user wears his helmet or not. So according to the model, these are the four main parameters that are to be passed for better accuracy. To improve this accuracy, basically we want more and more data sets. So we are circulating not only limited to Pune area, we are considering to pass this survey forms over a wide range. In the upcoming months, we will gather more and more data, and the data set final generated will be trained, tested, and all the possible machine learning models will be compared. The team hopes that the COVID-19 situation comes under control, so that we will be able to make our prototype and show in the upcoming technical video 3.